constituents that are here laboring the gospel, to every entity of this assembly that are in your place. We thank God for God being God.
Oh, yes, sir.
Somebody ought to be excited about that.
Yes, sir.
Today, amen.
Amen.
We are grateful. I have enjoyed the male chorus.
Amen.
I thank God for them, and I thank God for the mothers of the assembly, as well as all of the deacons and the musicians, all of you on your posts. We are grateful that my baby's here. Amen. Today.
Amen.
And my partner in crime, my sister-in-law, is in the house with me today. Sister Shirley. For her. Now listen, I thank God I won't be, but about 15 minutes at the most, I'll be out your way. Amen. We are grateful. Those of you that have your text with you today, you be kind enough. It's been a tough time. Tough time. I'm a mama's boy. My mama been gone, demise for a while, but on the 19th of this month was her day, and I think about it. Then on last week, I just buried my sister, Sister Betty, right here in this place. And then on this morning, they just called me my godson. They found him dead. In the midst of all of that, God is still God.
Yes, sir.
And God is still able.
Yes, he is.
So I dare not to give God no praise. Because if it had not been for the Lord, whom was on my side, somebody ought to tell me. If you can tell me, I want to hear, where would I be? Now, I know I'm in the right place. If y'all won't just sit there and be quiet, then I'll come down and teach a Bible study. But if we're going to have church on this morning, besides COVID and all of that, I ain't worried about COVID. God can control COVID. If God can turn water into wine and raise a dead man from a coffin, God sure enough can control COVID. I want everybody in the house, and then I'm going to bring the word. I want everybody in the house just to lift your hand and tell God thank you before we start. Come on, give him a big thank you tonight. Give him a big thank you today. Come on, give God some praise in the house. I want you to take the blinders off. I want you to praise him. Like the roof is on fire. Y'all know how it used to be. Back in the day when my fraternity would get started and the party would get good, we say the roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let the roof come on burn. Can anybody just shout with me? Tell God thank you. Genesis chapter 37. Y'all can look at me, but I'm going to have some time in here. Genesis 37, verses 3 and 8.
Thank you, Jesus.
Genesis 37, 3 and 8.
Thank you, Lord.
When you're there, say amen. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all of his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream. And he told his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And what did his dream say? He said unto them, hear, I pray you, this dream which I dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheep arose also stood upright, and behold, your sheep stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheep. And his brethren said to him, shall thou indeed reign over us, or shall thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dream and for his words. Just for a moment today, I want to peruse through the text and talk from the message entitled, I Know What I Saw. Tell somebody, I know what I saw. I know what I saw. In August 28, 1963, Dr. King gave a speech entitled, I Have a Dream. In the midst of his speech, he said something like, and so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. He says it's a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. He says, I have a dream that one day the nations will rise up and live out its true meaning of its creed. He says, we hold these truths to be self-evidence that all men are created equal. He says, I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, that the sons of the former slaves and the sons of the former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. He says, I have a dream that one day, even that the state of Mississippi, a state weltering with the heat of injustice, weltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. He says, I have a dream that my 4 little children would one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by their color of their skin, but by the contents of their character. Martin Luther King says what he saw in spite of what he sees.
All right, son.
What did Martin Luther King see when he was saying this speech? In his speech, he says, I still see Negroes that are still not free. He says, I see the life of a Negro is still sadly crippled. He said, Negroes are living on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. He says, I see Negroes in exile in their own land. He said, I see Negroes living in shameful conditions. Yes, my brothers and sisters, Martin Luther King tells us about what he saw, but he says it in the midst of what he sees. I'm trying to go somewhere. Every now and then you got to have what is called faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things that are not seen. Tell somebody if you could, I know what I saw. Joseph in the text tells us what he saw in the midst of what he sees. In the text, Joseph tells his brothers, he tells them about his dream. And they interpreted his dream as if one day they're going to bow down and worship and honor him. He tells his father and he tells his family about the dream that God had given him. My brothers and sisters, I often wonder sometimes, Joseph shares with us the importance that when God gives us something, how we got to stay on course with what he gives us in spite of whatever else is going on. I wish somebody could hear me here. Sometimes Satan will throw distractions in your face to try to detour you from what God has for you. But my brothers and sisters, you got to know what it is you saw. You've got to know what God has shown you. Pastor, even when nobody else understands but you got to know what God has shown you. My brothers and sisters, he tells what he saw in the midst of what he sees. What did Joseph see? He seen brothers that hated him. He seen a father that didn't believe in him. He seen a world that didn't know him. He seen friends that probably laughed at him. He seen people that probably talked about him. He seen people that was probably scandalizing his name. But in the midst of everything he sees, he still tells them what he saw. I'm trying to help somebody here.
Look out now.
It's important for us to stay with what God shows us than what we see with our own eyes. My brothers and my sisters, in the text, and I'm about done already. In the text, I often wonder, why is it in the text that Joseph never tried to fight with his brothers when they put him in the pit? I wonder, why is it that he didn't run when they let him out of the pit? I wonder why he didn't try to escape when they sold him into slavery. I wonder why he never said anything when the woman accused him of raping her. I wonder why he didn't get mad when they forgot about him when he was in prison. I wonder why he still helped his brothers when he met up with them again. The answer is obvious. Because Joseph realized whatever he was seeing, it ain't what God had shown him. Do you understand what I'm saying? 3 points and I'm going to be done and I'm going to get out of here. First of all, understand that when you know what you saw, it's important to understand that in every vision only has one believer first. Pastor, you hear me? Every vision only has one believer first. Come on. And that's the person that God gives the vision to. People will support your vision, but don't mean they believe in your vision. People will support you because of how much they love you, but still don't mean they support the vision that God has given to you. You've got to understand you cannot conduct the orchestra with your face turned towards the audience. Oh, I'm trying to talk to somebody. You got to understand that no matter what nobody's saying about you, that when God shows you something, that you got to learn how to stay with what God has shown you. Is there anybody out here today, God has shown you something? Just be honest with me. Is there anybody out here today, God has shown you something? And see, a lot of people can't get it because you're too busy talking. And that's the problem. You pray a lot, but you don't listen to the answer of the prayers. We've got to learn how to listen more than we do talk when it comes to God. Somebody talk to me. Has God ever shown anybody in here something that he was going to do for you? If God has shown you something in the house that he was going to do for you, just let me see you lift your hand. Did God tell anybody that you're going to have a new business? Did God tell anybody you won't finish school? Did God tell anybody you're going to come out of poverty? Did God tell anybody that you're healed and you're no longer sick? Did God tell anybody I'm going to make your enemies your footstool? You can't go by what you see. You got to go by what you have been shown. That's why he didn't run.
Lord, have mercy.
Because first of all, he realized every vision only has one believer.
All right.
And that's the person God has given it to. Secondly, the reason I figure that Joseph had the attitude that he did is because if what you see is not what you saw, then what you see is only temporary.
All right. Bring it down.
See, that ought to make somebody excited. I wish I was in the right place. I wish I was in the right place. In other words, if what I see is not what I saw, I can deal with what I see because what I'm seeing is only temporary. You ought to tell somebody this is only temporary. Oh, y'all ain't talking to me now. To tell somebody this is only temporary. Here it is. Let me get on out of here. Y'all don't want to have no church. Here it is. Watch this. I understand from the text why Joseph kept doing what he was doing. I understand why he ended up where he ended up. I understand why he is the man that he is. I understand why he was able to reign so and such in his life. Because simply, you can be happy because you know what you saw will turn into what you see. Y'all ain't hearing me. You ought to be able to tell somebody everything God has shown me will soon turn into what I see right now. Anybody know God is able to turn things around for you? Somebody for a night. But did anybody here know joy will come in the morning? Have I got anybody in the house right now that know God can turn things around? Won't he do it? Won't he not turn it around? I wish I had about a few witnesses in here. And that's why Joseph said, I'm not dismayed. He said, what you meant for my bad, he said, God used it for my good. In other words, what I saw turns into what I see. Tell somebody it may not be here right now, but the Lord is bringing it my way. Anybody here? I wish I could have some Holy Ghost folk in here that know that you know that you know that you know that's the reason. I go to work every day and I know they want to fire me, but I know it's only temporary. That's the reason why I let them laugh at where I live, because I know that it's only temporary. Laugh at me at the bus stop if you want. I know that it's only temporary. Anybody here? I may not have the finest clothes, But you ought to get up right now, wherever you are, and know God has fixed it for you. Tell me, how did you feel when you came out the wilderness? Wasn't it good? It put running in your feet. It put clapping in your hands. Jeremiah said, it's like fire shut in the bone. Is there anybody here know it's just like fire shut in your bone? Wait. Christ gotta get out of here, but y'all do me one favor and I'm done. I want you to find somebody that don't mind having church and take them by the hand. Find somebody that don't mind having church. Oh, you coming under the blood and shake them by the hand. Shake their hand real good. Shake it real good. And I want you to say, neighbor, I never would have made it without the Lord on my side. Tell him I'm wired, I'm better. No doctrine. That ain't what I saw. That ain't what I saw. That ain't what I saw. Tell him that ain't what I saw. That ain't what I saw. I know what I saw. Tell her that ain't what I saw. I know what I saw. That ain't what I saw. I know what I saw. I saw me being blessed. I saw my wife being blessed. I saw my kids being blessed. I saw my church being blessed. I saw my home being blessed. I saw everybody around me being blessed. Y'all been worried about the situation, been worried about your bills, been worried about your children, been worried about your health, been worried about your job, but just speak it into existence. That ain't what I saw. I saw me working. I saw my kids in school. I saw me getting back to doing what I was doing. My money ain't funny no more. Yeah. Won't he do it? Won't God do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? I'm too tired. Oh, God do it. I wish I had somebody that's telling me prosper. Have you any mountain you can tunnel through? I heard somebody say, God specializes in things that seem impossible. Y'all know God will do what no other power, Holy Ghost power, can do. Wife's got a question for you. Have you ever been on your bed of affliction? Lord, and the doctor, I know some sick folks that have been sick in here. Done all they could do. But I heard somebody say, oh, God specializes in things that seem impossible.